Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Victory Hour, um, Lunch and Learn. So we want to welcome you all as you join us today. Today is going to be a very interesting session, and today we're going to discuss about how we can take advantage of our tax filing as a 1099 contractor. This is going to be very, very interesting, and you're going to learn a lot about it because we're going to help you and show you how you can save money and at the same time be in full compliance with the tax laws. So, as we join today's session, we're going to have Miss Alima Jallo, who is the CEO of Victory Accounting and Financial Services. She will be explaining to you how the ways you can save money and at the same time be in full compliance with the tax laws as a 1099 contractor. As we go along, I would encourage you to put on your questions, have your questions on the comment section or comments you may have. At the end of the session, we would go through them and answer your questions. And please do not forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Victory CPA. Looking forward to an exciting session. Welcome, Alima.
Thank you so much, Buntina. Thank you for this warm introduction. Hey guys, I really am excited about this topic today. This taxes, I just like taxes. Taxes is something that I have a passion in. I've been doing it over 6 years now, since 2020, when Victory CPA was established. So I'm really excited about this very topic because I have a lot of 1099 clients and I see the struggles and I'm here to help. So we decided that we're going to share some tax implications for 1099s. I am going to share my screen and please follow me as I go through my presentation. So as I mentioned, the topic is tax implication, 1099 tax implication. So let's go get started. Okay, on this screen, we have two sides. We have independent contractor and employees. So today we are not going to be speaking on employees, but I just wanted to note the difference. With an employee, you get to get a W-2 at the end of the year, and the employer files your taxes. Your taxes are withdrawn, so your take-home pay is excluded from the taxes that the employer has paid. Whereas as a 1099 contractor, you get to pay your taxes, your estimated taxes, and we'll talk more on that. So as a 1099 contractor, most of you started with a W-9, which you filled out and submitted to the employer. The employer uses that W-9 to process your 1099 NEC at the end of the year. Some of you should have started receiving the 1099 NEC. And for any employer that is listening, the due date for filing that with the IRS is January 31st. So please get on it, file it out and send copies to your contractors. All right. Another thing a 1099 contractor must be aware of is estimated tax payment. And that would take us to my next screen, estimated tax payment. So as an independent contractor, you are paid, some of you every 2 weeks, monthly, but the employer does not withhold any taxes. So what you have to do, IRS says that you have to estimate the taxes and pay in 4 installments during the year. This is one of the difficult things I've helped people with over the years. Most people don't know how to establish this payment, how to estimate this payment. But if you need further information on this, please feel free to reach out to us. So the first quarter is due April 15. The second quarter is due June 15. The third quarter is due September 15. and the fourth quarter is due January 15. The reason the IRS says to make this payment is for you not to be penalized. After a certain amount of money you receive, you are expected to make payments during the year, not only at the end of the year. So please note this. You can set up this payment plan on the IRS website. All right. The next thing I wanted to touch on is filing as a 1099. There are many benefits of a 1099 contractor, but you just need to work with the right CPA or tax preparer. Because as a 1099 contractor, IRS sees you as a business owner. Your everything you do is like you are doing it as a business. So, and I'm going to touch on some of the tax deductions you can make use of. Yes, we know you have to pay self-employment tax when filing your 1040, and the self-employment tax may be a little bit over what you pay as a W-2, but there are so many benefits of a 1099 filer because you can deduct things that a W-2 employee is not permitted to. And that takes us to the next slide I want to really hone on in this presentation. Some common tax deductions for a 1099 contract. This is a checklist that I give to my clients. And if you want a copy, I'll give you for free. Please reach out to us. I'll give you a PDF copy for free. So talk about vehicle and travel. For those of you that are 1099 contractor, it is in the IRS law allows you to deduct business mileage, meaning leaving your home to work and back. So you can deduct business mileage, and that business mileage, there is a method to it. And I'm here to help you if you need further information on this. But you can deduct a business mileage using the standard method, or you can do actually an actual method by deducting the gas, your oil, your repair on your vehicle, and all. You can do that. But there is something you have to be careful of. You cannot deduct the entire amount because your vehicle is used for both personal. If your vehicle is used for both personal and for work, let's say 50% you use your vehicle for work, then you have to deduct 50% of these expenses. You are not allowed to deduct 100%. The next things like parking, toll, you can also deduct it as long as it's related to the business. It's an ordinary and necessary expense for the business. And another thing that you can deduct is travel. So as long as your trip is has a business related trip, like you're going to Miami, but you have a big conference to attend, the IRS doesn't care if you use part of your time vacationing in the beach in Miami, but as long as you can prove that you went there for a business meeting, you can show proof like you went for a conference, or you went to meet a new client, or you went to like look at the place to see if it's conducive for you to do business. And I should have noted this in the beginning. One key thing is documentation. Always have documentation to back what you are claiming, because this is a high audited area when it comes to business expenses, as well as business meals. Normally, you can deduct up to 50%. And this is meals like you have with your client, meals with your partners, as long as you are discussing a business related topic. You can deduct these meals. Okay. And the next big one is home office deduction. Most of you that work remotely need to take advantage of this, whether you are renting or you own your own property. As long as there's a dedicated space assigned for you where you do your work, there is a way to calculate it. You can do a standard method, or you can do actual. You have to calculate the square footage of that space in comparison for the entire house, space of your home or apartment and use that portion to calculate your home office deduction. If you go with the standard method, there's an amount you can calculate by each, I think it's $5 now for each square footage of your office space. But if you decide to go with the actual method, you will have to take into consideration your rent, mortgage interest, utilities, internet, you name it. And not the entire amount. Again, it's just the percentage of the space that you use. And we can help you with that. It gets really tricky when it comes to calculating home office deduction. And that's why we are here to help you. Please reach out to us if you need our help in calculating this complex deductions. And things like home insurance, office repairs, all this can be deducted. A portion of it that is used for business can be deducted. All right. I hope you are dropping in your questions. And I hope that this presentation, you're finding it helpful. The next big section is office, equipment and supplies. Things like if you are using a computer, if you are using printer, monitor, if you have a desk, you are using the furniture, you have office supplies, you buy your pen, your notebooks, softwares and subscription, you can deduct all this. Guys, as a W-2 employee, you cannot, but as a 1099 contractor, you can. So take advantage of it. The next big category is marketing and advertising. Of course, the IRS wants your business to grow, or your whatever you are doing, your gig, whatever you are doing that it's making, you're having that 1099 for. So anything like if you have a website, if you have a website course, online advertising, if you have business cards, promotional materials, all this cost in marketing and advertising, it's actually deductible on your taxes. All right. The other one is professional service and education. I know I use this a lot. As a certified public accountant, you're not just required to take the exams, you're required to maintain your license. So you are continuously learning. So all that amount that I pay towards my continuous education, I deduct on my taxes. And same for you, including the amount you pay to you pay Victory CPA to do your taxes and your bookkeeping, you get to deduct it. Legal and consulting services, you get to deduct it. Anything, as I just explained, they take your certification. Some of you are nurses, engineers, whatever certification you need to maintain. That cost don't have to be borne by you. You can deduct it after making that payment. Okay. And the other big category is insurance, banking, and others. Things like health insurance. If you are providing for yourself health insurance, the premium of it can be deducted from your taxes. You can deduct the premium of your health insurance and any out-of-pocket expenses. Things like bank and processing fees as well, you can deduct. And if you are a contractor and have another contractor, let's say a subcontractor working for you, you pay that subcontractor, you can deduct that payment as well. And also license dues, things like depreciation. I mean, the list goes on and on. You can deduct it from your taxes. There's so much I can talk on this various tax deduction, but I just want to make it simple for you guys and want to bring this to you that as a 1099 contractor, you don't have to panic. I know people with 1099s at the tax season when they file, you have this big tax bill, yes. If you are not paying estimated taxes, yes, the IRS is going to tax you, yes, but you can actually reduce that taxes. That's why deductions are there. They help reduce your taxable income, which eventually reduce the tax you pay. It's not going to eliminate it. I'm not going to pretend like it's going to eliminate it, but if you do your due diligence, you'll be able to save on taxes. And that takes me to my next point. This is my final slide. And it talks about smart tax planning for 1099. So if you're not paying your estimated taxes every quarter, just try to set aside money, when you get paid about 25 to 35% of your income. Just set it aside for taxes because they give you your gross amount. So try to set aside a certain amount towards your taxes so that you don't get hit with a big tax bill and now you can't pay and now you get into interest and penalty with the IRS. You don't want all that. So set aside some money to pay when you file your taxes if you're a 1099. Another important thing, and listen, this area is highly audited. Track your income and expenses monthly. Things I tell my business clients, small business clients, or even 1099 contractor, maybe you can get a separate bank account, not to commingle your funds. Like you have a different bank account that just tracks your income and expense for that 1099 job you have or that business you have so that you at the end of the year you know exactly what you spend. Don't rely on memory. Oh, I can remember. Trust me, some things you don't remember. So you have to have a way of tracking. I've seen some clients use Excel spreadsheets, very good as well. Some people use QuickBooks software, which we help clients set up and we help them to be able to track their income and expenditures and produce financial report. You may not be that complex. So you may only maybe need an Excel spreadsheet. Go for it, but have that thing tracked and make sure you have your receipts that you know where to go get them in the event you are audited. All right. The next advice or tip I have for you, honestly, is pay your estimated taxes. It's called estimated for a reason. It's not actual. You can estimate, and normally this is done if you have done your taxes in the previous year. The tax software I use actually help estimate taxes for the upcoming year for people with 1099. So you can estimate your taxes so to avoid the penalty from the IRS. And of course, the big one, you may not know how to take advantage of all these tax deductions. Talk with a CPA. Talk with us. Not just filing time. You have to do tax planning as well to take advantage of all these things. So I will stop here for now and ask if you have any question, and I'll turn it over to my colleague, Montina, to take your questions. Thank you all so much for your time and hanging with me.
Thank you very much, Alima, for this very, very important tips and information that you have given to us for as 1099 contractors. This is very, very important, and it is important that people take note that you can save money because that is what we all care about, because we want to comply, and at the same time, while we're complying, we make sure we ask the expert to help us on ways we can categorize expenses for us to save money. And that is where we at Victory CPA comes in. We're experts in this business and we can help you on ways you can take advantage and save money and at the same time not having trouble. So some of the important tips during the presentation: documentation. It is very important because bear in mind that you might be audited. If you are not, then it's fine. But in a situation where you are audited, you have supporting evidences to show that these expenses were incurred and they were incurred for things that are related to the services that you are offering or what you're doing as a consultant or as a contractor. So you have to be very, very mindful. Ask the expert. I keep saying everybody has his or her own specialty or what he's good at. If you're a contractor, you a building contractor, you know what you do, you know the measurement, you know all of these things. But when it comes to tax filing, tax calculation, advantages that you can take, that you can have or gain, you would not know. So it is important that you talk to the experts because we are here to help you. Um, To recap on what my colleague Alima has already said, set aside some amount of money so that you don't get a shocker when the tax returns are done, like you have to pay huge amounts of tax. It will reduce that. And make sure paying estimated taxes is very, very important. And also track your income. I have also mentioned that tracking your income and expenditure is very, very important, because that will help us at the end of the day. But do not forget, we are here to take your questions, your comments. If you happen to see this session after we have done it, we would be more than willing and welcome to accept your questions, and we are here to help you, for you to learn while you have your lunch. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and we look forward to more session with you all in our Tuesday session on Lunch and Learn. Thank you, Alima. Thank you, our
Thank
audience.
you so much. Let me just check the chat one time and see
Yeah.
if we have anything. Um, okay. I don't see any question. But again, as my colleague Montina has said, if you come back and look at this video and have a question, you can still drop in your question and we'll be sure to come back and answer.
Yeah.
But until we meet again, thank you all so much. Thank you for having us in your Tuesday Lunch and Learn with Victory Hour. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.